Can anyone actually hear me or not? Say yes in the chats. Why can't I see you boys on screen then? What's going on? Hey, I've actually got a few people in the chat. Let me pull this up on YouTube. Bear with me, lads. I'm new to all this. Right. Changy, you managed to get any work done in this weather or what?
Put your money to work with trade.
Right, look at the chat options and live chat. Top chat, live chat. Congratulations, Changy. What's that, number 2 or 3 now, isn't it? It's time to have the snip now, mate. How many jobs have I got on the go at the moment? Well, we have, I don't know, 8 or 9 sites, I think. And yes, I do have a family, Changi. I have a wife and I have 2 children. My lad is 21 and my daughter is 15. How I fit it all in. To be honest, I just do a bit of most of my editing. I do a little bit every night, and then in terms of work and stuff, I don't really ever stop work. Really, to be honest with you, but it's not really. I don't want a medal for that. I just the way my brain works. Really, I'm always thinking of weird stuff, like maybe going live on YouTube. Check out Chinese channel, shall we? So nearly 15,000 subscribers, Changi. How long did that take you to get to? My missus is quite relaxed about the editing, to be honest. Lewis, how's the truck? The truck is very nice, thank you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, incredibly fortunate. I do love my truck. Wasn't sure on the colour, but I do, because I've always had a black one, and now I like the red one. So yeah, that's some good growth, Chang, for 2 years. That's good going. So I started mine in January. I'm at 2,867 subscribers, which I don't think's too bad. I spend a bit of time looking at YouTube and that now, and working out bits and pieces. I've got better, that's for sure. Wayne, seems like you have a good bunch of lads. Yeah, we have, credit to my mum and dad, obviously. It's their business, and some of these people go back. Some of the lads worked for my dad for years. So my dad's mum and dad have obviously laid a good foundation. It's now to me and the boys to push on now and do our bit. Although, my dad's in the office every day. when he's around, he's in the office every day. So the office is at my parents' house. So we've got my dad built an office there, so quite lucky there. But yeah, we have got a good bunch of lads. Yeah, I did notice that on the shorts, Changi, to be fair. A couple of so I think my channel's up to 4 million views, and a large percentage of that has come from the shorts, and yeah, I've picked up a fair few subscribers as well. What's the plans for the future for the company in the future? Well, we've got a good apprenticeship program. We've got 12 current live apprentices, as well as some that are finished and still with us. And we've just opened up the apprenticeships to the scaffolding division. So that gives us a good, nice, stable bit of growth. And then we want to increase the house building division as well, alongside things. So I think there'll be some good opportunities coming up in the next couple of years, with a bit of a downturn possibly in the industry. So yeah, that's the plan really. Growth of the brickwork and scaffolding through apprenticeships, and continue to grow that. We want to take on around 10 in each division every year, and then continue to build the houses, our own developments. I did see Derby brickwork Changi, to be fair, and an awful lot of views. But I've had a few companies reach out. I've got the slurry tubs from BT Engineering, so I've got them to trial. A couple of other companies have been in touch, so hopefully get to promote a few, trial a few things and a few different products. What's your favourite trowel? To be honest, never really. Uh, I've always used the Marshalltown. I've always used the red rubber handled one. I've never really used anything else. To be perfectly honest, I've tried wooden ones. I've tried ones with the glass or the perspex handle, but standard. It's not about the trowel. It's about the person that's holding it. What's your prices you're paying, lads? It's top secret. Don't promote anything for any of these companies unless they pay you. Well, to be honest, I don't do the YouTube for the money. So I will which then obviously does give me the freedom to review products and give an honest opinion on them as well. So I don't really want to be paid to promote something if I don't like it. So if I use it and it's crap, then at least I can say that. And genuinely, if it's good, then I will endorse it, because again, I don't do. I mean, the YouTube revenue is quite low, so might be able to get a turkey at Christmas or something, but it's certainly not gonna get the Rolls Royce. I'm up to £60.40. I bet you've earned a few quid, Changy. Come on, spill it in the chat, mate. Come on. What's your lifetime revenue on your channel? I reckon 10 grand, higher or lower. Well, higher. Dead on 10K. There you go. That's it's pretty good, isn't it? 5 grand a year, Changi, for 2 years, and it's probably going to continue to grow. So fair play, fair play. It's a couple of holidays a year. I think I got 11. Come on, people, get involved. I've got 11 viewers, I think. And there's only one, two, three chatting. Come on, ask me some questions. What do you want to see on the channel? Comment in the chat. Always struggle for ideas. No longer going to be A&D weekly. It's just going to be a video. Still aim to do them weekly, but we'll try trying to move away from the weekly situation, which is something else I learned about YouTube. Never put episode numbers in your videos. And I'm on episode like 43 or something. Here's Lukey. Are you going to do a scaffolding guide, but like you have done for the brickies? Probably not, Luke. It's too technical, and really, it's not something you can really mess about with. Maybe some good practice, some basic good practice stuff. Not a bad idea. Could add that to my Shopify channel. So who's Speedcrete then, Changi? I take it they're a distributor, are they, or not? Let me have a quick Google of that, shall I? Oh, I see. Speedcrete are a distributor then. Take them out, Changi. Don't give up, mate. Make your own. I've approached someone about making some things similar to BT engineering and things like that, which have been quite well received so far. Do you still like getting stuck in, Wayne? Yes, I do, Wayne. I do actually enjoy laying bricks and blocks, and it's sometimes a welcome break from the mental game. To be honest, it's a lot less stressful being on the trowel every day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from brickies. It's cold, it's wet, it's dark. I get it. I've been there, but when you're away on holiday or you've got a funeral or whatever, business doesn't stop. So I've had many phone calls and emails and things to sort out. So the simplicity I like of just laying bricks and blocks and stone, but I wouldn't. That's not the game plan. It's to unfortunately or fortunately for me. Right, any more questions for me? I don't want to be a middleman, but don't have the capital, etc., to buy and build. When you say buy and build, what do you mean, Changi? So at the middleman, you're obviously subbing off someone like ourselves. Land. So it's a bit of a misconception to do with land. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't build. You do need an element of money, but it's not as much as people would think. So it's really not that complicated. And also, what I would suggest is, you're a bricklayer, so you bring a lot to the party in terms of knowledge, expertise, doing the physical work. So ideally, what you want to do is team up with a lad, team up with someone who's got a few bob, and then you can do the build, and then it's a win-win and split the profits at the end. So it is a little bit of a misconception that you need bags, pots and pots of money, because that's simply not true. It's expensive, but no one uses their own money. Everyone uses someone else's money. And the way interest rates are and things, inflation's so high, wealthy people need to get their money out of the bank because it effectively is shrinking. They lend it to people like me, and they lend it to people like you, Changi. So my biggest suggestion would be go and network, go to property events, do things online. The White Box Property Solutions, they're a couple of good guys. Fella Lloyd used to work for Taylor Wimpey 4 or 5 years ago, sales director, now got a portfolio of like 20 million. So I've done some bits with them. Highly recommended, and quite happy to chat with you, Changi, and help you out. But really, ironically, you hold the key to the safe because you're the bricklayer, you're the one with the expertise. You just need someone who's got few quid, stick it in, you do the project, split the profit at the end. It's pretty straightforward, in all honesty, once you know how. And the lack of land, Changi, well, watch your space, mate, because these next couple of years are going to be quite interesting. And it's been a seller's market for the last few years, but the next couple of years is going to be a buyer's market, and you will see much more land becoming readily available. What size gang do you prefer to employ? We got anything from a 2 and 1 up to a 10 and 3. In all honesty, I think 5 and 2 probably perfect. There's not many people that I know that can run, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 men, unless you're my brother Liam, who's very, very, very good at it, and probably has, I don't know, 20 lads on site at one time. But yeah, 5 and 2, good number. The stonework looks good. You did stonework. Wayne is very ironically very easy, and it's just like bricks. I love the stonework. It flies up so quick. When you're doing the sixes, it's like laying 2 courses of bricks in 1 course. So I love stonework. And when I was on price work a few years ago, I had a stone site off my dad of 40 houses, and that was brilliant. But Changi, yeah, I've joined the golf club, so you can mix with it. Typically comes with the territory. People who like golf tend to have a few bob. Go to network events, the pin meetings. I think there'd be once a month in your area. They do them nationwide. Go to business networking events as well. Tell everyone what you want to do. Tell people what you're looking to get into, and activity creates opportunity, Changi. It really does. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So get stuck in, mate. So in terms of setting up so what you want to do, Changi, is when you buy a piece of land, or the investor buys a piece of land. So what you do is, I don't want to get too technical, but you set up something called an SPV, which is a temporary limited company, which so the limited company owns the land, and then you and the investor then becomes a 50-50 shareholder, or 60-40, 70-30, whichever you decide on. And then you're shareholders of the company. And then when that particular project is finished, the limited company is dissolved and you pay the shares out. It's all perfectly legal. You're not winding up companies. It's a proper property developers solution to building projects and moving on to the next one. So each piece of land would be its own limited company, if that makes sense. But that's kind of getting into a little bit more specialist advice, um, which I'm quite happy to jump on a call with you sometime and discuss in a bit further detail. But the first thing to do is get out there, tell people what you want to do, and start, start shaking a tree and seeing what apples fall. Because let me tell you, I could buy a piece of land tomorrow, um, after a couple of years of networking, putting my name out there, going to network events, getting up on stage and speaking in front of these network people and saying, I'm a property developer, I want to buy land. And now people come to me and you do a couple of deals, and um, they sort of know you're serious, if that makes sense. I've been waiting to ask you for ages. Yeah, anytime, Chang. You can always just message me. My email address is also on my channel somewhere. I think it's in the about section as well. Um, I get quite a few emails and stuff, um, asking for bits and bits of advice and stuff. But also the amount of free resources on YouTube as well. I pretty much spend my life either listening to podcasts, Audible, or on YouTube. Um, I don't watch any TV. I don't watch the news. I don't read newspapers. Maybe that's why I'm not brainwashed. I used to read the Sun when I was on the trail, but I haven't read the Sun for about, I don't know, 12, 13 years now. Not knocking any Sun readers, because I know a lot of bricklayers are Sun readers, but don't put it down. Page three's gone now anyway. Go on. 14 viewers now. Come on, any more questions? So buy to let is not a bad investment. A little bit more tricky now with interest rates being a little bit higher. Um, but most bricks and mortar investments are not going to lose. If you look, my house is worth double what it was 10 years ago, and it'd be worth double again in another 10 years. Um, that's not guesswork. If you look back at the house price data over the last 100 years, house prices have pretty much doubled every 10 years. So not a bad investment, but a slow burner. Um, Property development is obviously fairly high risk, but the rewards are fairly high. And I know you get paid at the end when everything's sold and everyone's had their money back, but um, it's not as long term. If you get a buy to let, you're probably going to cash flow maybe £250 a month if you're lucky, after all your expenses. And unless that's in a limited company, you can't claim the interest as tax deductible as well. And if it's in a limited company, you pay more interest. So I'm not knocking buy to lets, but work out where you want to go and then reverse engineer it. All investments should be long term, Changi. That's it. All investments. You listen to Warren Buffett, the best investor that's ever lived. All his investments are long term. That's it. He doesn't buy and trade. He buys and holds, and ultimately they will go up. So same with bricks and mortar. You only ultimately profit or lose when you sell. So a lot of people try and time the market, but it's kind of irrelevant, really. If you bought a house now in at the top of the market, then if you sold your house now at the top of the market, you have to buy at the top of the market unless you're going to sell. But I'll be the wrong side of the grass trying to time the market. So you might as well just get on with it. How you doing, Ben? Ben's one of our lads. Ben's been, I think he's worked for my dad longer than me, to be honest. About the same sort of time, 21, 22 years, I think. Good lad, Ben. I challenge anyone wants a race. I put Ben in to represent A&D because not only is he the fastest, but he literally goes the same speed for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, no matter what. Isn't that right, Ben? Jack Russell, best advice: don't buy papers. Yep, don't buy them. Don't buy them, Jack. No newspapers, no news. I didn't even know that the Prime Minister had been sacked or resigned, whatever it was. No worries, Changi. Thanks for calling in, mate. Take care. Anytime I can help, just give me a shout. It's a pity I can't see who's watching. No, who's in the chat. I can't see who's in the chat, but I've got 11 viewers now. Any questions before I disappear? Speak now. Do you want to see more of these live chats? Must have a lot of lurkers here. Don't quite actually know how this all works just yet. I'm probably just talking to myself. I'll watch this back, hopefully. Participants. Gav, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Abel. Wonder if that's Gav who used to work for us many moons ago. What year did your dad form the company? Well, my dad's sort of always had his own work, to be honest with you. I think this current company was formed 2014 in the group format, but he's pretty much always had his own work. But more serious. Let's say more serious. That's probably the wrong expression. Since I've worked for him, really in the way it's been recognised now, working for the National House Builders. So 20 years ago, 21 years ago, but was well on his way before I come along to work for him. I got made redundant and just filled in with him for a few weeks, and now here I am 20 years later. Sorry, Gav. Welcome all the way from England. Tom King. Any sites in Bristol? Not at present. We haven't worked down Bristol for quite a while now. It's quite a hard area to resource for us, really. It's about an hour from Swindon. We have done some work down there before. Done a fair bit of work down there before, but everything at the moment is fortunately quite local to us and certainly to our office. And we just picked up a couple of new sites which are local again. So the goal is to try and get everyone in as close as possible because fuel's expensive, cost of living is expensive, just general day-to-day fuel and cars and etc. etc. So the closer we can keep the lads, the better. I got a like. Someone liked it. Got one thumbs up. That was probably Ben. Thanks, Ben. Any more questions? A couple more minutes and then I'll go. Not bad for a first time at this. Hopefully, I can save this and post it somewhere on the channel. Um, that's all right for a Monday night. Don't know whether there's any football on tonight. Oh, I've got 2 likes now. Thank you. Probably family. What's the audio like? Can you hear me all right? Is it clear? Comment, please. Sounds good, mate. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben. Ben, who's the best? Who's the best bricklaying brother? Remember, this is being recorded. That's not an answer. Probably you, bud. Personally, I hands up. I think it's Paul. Personally, although I reckon I can have more of a rally. Ben used to work with me when I was in price work. Right, that's it then, lads. Unless anyone's got any more questions for me, I'll give you till 5 to, and then I've got to go and do some editing. So, any questions for me before I disappear? We've only got 2 or 3 people in the chat at this minute in time, but I bet there's plenty of people watching. I've got 3 likes now. Any more for any more? Come on, don't be shy. This is me. I don't know. I've got nearly 3,000 subscribers and like 3 people in the chat. The ratio's not quite right. Sure, I'll get better. Might do one of these once a week. What do you reckon? Monday night? Monday night review. See who turned up for Mondays. Do you have any guys have problems with? Give me a like if you get lots of people that don't turn up on a Monday. Their lives are hard work. What I don't want to do is leave this running and forget about it. I reckon the secret to the live Chang is probably scheduling them so it's a fixed time once a week, maybe. Um, yeah, I tell you, got the only thing I've got to rant about is people not coming to work on a Monday. Thanks, Gav. I did try and come at it from a different angle. I know there's quite a few bricklaying channels, but I did try. I do want to try and come from the business subcontractor and property developing side, and hopefully help people change their lives. To be perfectly honest with you, get into property developments, maybe start their own business, um, because you won't get where you want to be working for someone else. That's for sure. Even though I work for my dad, but it's kind of a plan. More of the business stuff I want to see. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to try and this week's topic's probably going to be how to survive the recession, and how to thrive in the recession, and what I would do, and what I do, and what I am going to do, and go from there. Really. So how I juggle money, how I manage money. I call the 6 jar method for managing money, which is brilliant. I'll tell you someone you should follow, Changi, is Andrew Hubbard. Developing Homes. Do a search for Developing Homes on YouTube. Give his channel a like. Big on Facebook. Does a 3-day training event, which by all accounts is very good. I've never been to it, but very successful. He's a brickie. He's up your neck of the woods as well, if I remember rightly, and does invite people down to work. Do a shift with him, pick his brains. So check him out, mate. Very, very successful. Lost it all a few years ago because he got ripped off by some business partners. But very, very good. He will teach you how to find land, how to structure the deals, how to do it with very little money, very little of your own money. Very excellent, really good resource. And white box property solutions. Andrew Cook and Lloyd Gerardi. Check them two out. There's a lot of sharks in the property space for training and people, things like that. But check them out, and I'm sure Andy's up your neck of the woods somewhere. Highly successful. He's just knocked up a house. It's about 12 weeks. He's in the dry already. Um, give him a shout. Yeah, my phone's blowing up. It's probably people messaging me saying, "Are you on YouTube Live?" Yeah. Oh, and Changi, LinkedIn as well. Do you get on LinkedIn? Not sure you do, but get on LinkedIn. Any plans on early retirement or work to the grave? I've got to be honest. Early days, but I can't really see me ever retiring. To be honest with you, yeah, don't know. Doubt it very much. It's not to say I wouldn't change what I do, or how I do it, but no, I certainly wouldn't retire. My dad's 62 and he's still um, as hungry as ever, to be honest with you. What's the job you hate to do every week, if any? There's lots of jobs I hate to do, but ironically, you have to be the position I'm in and the job I do. I have to be quite disciplined because there's lots of little shitty bits that I have to do, um, and they need to be done. So you have to be disciplined, but not just disciplined in the good things. You have to be disciplined in doing the bad, boring, menial tasks, which sometimes contribute quite a bit to the business. Or it's like, I don't know, setting up the BT for the two properties we're building. It's a royal pain in the ass, but ultimately I've got to get it done. So loads of little things, but you just got to work for them. Would you like to build your own house one day? I will build my own house one day, Wayne. That is the plan. Our next development site, which will probably feature this week, me and my wife are actually planning to keep that one, depending on the deal, how it's structured, because I'd have to buy my dad out. So, all being well, I'd like to keep my current property if financial situation allows it to, and I would like to keep the one that we're about to build. But it's not the house that I plan to build when I do build my own. But I'm probably going to keep this one. Yeah, mainly admin tasks, Changi. To be honest, yeah, bang on. I actually like getting out on site and doing, seeing the lads and seeing site managers and stuff. What's the end goal of the YouTube channel? So the end goal of the YouTube channel, Luke, is to um, basically start a subscription based business. That's the plan. This crack me up. Chicken too. Cracks me up. This does. If people hide behind stupid names, just you got something to say, just say it. You can subscribe toenails. Okay. It's not the first. We've had a few. I wouldn't say shitty comments. A few um, unusual comments on some of the videos, but hey, it's all good. It's all good for the algorithm. Keep commenting. Apart from, don't get racist. There's no need for that. It'll crop up again in a minute. I get 10p per nail. Come on, Bricky, bro. You don't want to get you don't want to get kicked as well, mate, do you? You like the channel. That's good to hear, mate. What do you like about it the most? It's pissing down again. Makes a change. Probably the way it's filmed involves all the lads. Do like to try and get round and show as many sites as we can. Not all the sites like me walking around the camera, to be honest, but the ones that do are the ones that feature majority of the time. Do you have to get permission of the house builder? Some house builders do have a social media policy, but no. Oh shit! Did I stop Changi as well? I didn't stop him, did I? Surely. Oh, sorry. Someone else. Oh, Changi got stopped. Oh, I see what you're saying. I have so much trouble filming. No, no, I'm not. Um, a couple of site managers said something, but no. Um, to be honest, I try and show it all in a good light. I'm not going to sit here and say everything we do is perfect and all our sites are perfect, but I do want to show the industry in a good light. I do want to promote our apprenticeships. I do want to promote the fact that you can build a successful career. I do want to promote the fact that you can make something of yourself. So I like to think I put it in a good light. And there's certain things that I see in film which I'm not gonna whether they involve our trades or not, which they don't most of the time. Persimmon wouldn't want you filming. Oh, I wouldn't be on their site, Luke. Don't no, nothing against Persimmon actually. I don't like timber frame. Our lads don't like timber frame. We can't earn any money doing timber frame, and we don't like scaffolding timber frame either because it's just too board intensive. Eats up too much kit. Yeah, I've had no one really moan at me, Changi. To be perfectly honest, I'm not really sure. Um, it is a private. Technically, if you're on a site, you're on private land. So if they want to stop you, they can, I suppose. But what have they got to hide? That's what I would question them. Yeah, timber frame's not. I don't like timber frame houses, but like let alone building them, I don't like them. Um, what part of the firm is bigger? The bricklaying side is bigger than the scaffolding side. We are a family of bricklayers, and I do always say uh, we're a bricklaying subcontractor with the scaffolding division, but I am actively trying to grow the scaffolding division um, because it's got a lot more growth to do, um, and it just makes sense to maybe try and catch it up to the brickwork. Because good brickies are hard to find. So I give up trying to find them, and we train our own now, pretty much exclusively. We was number 16 in the top 50 SME apprenticeship providers. So we ranked number 16. Lots to hide, as you know. Yes, Changi, but they shouldn't have anything to hide, really. Sites should be safe. And um, really, what else have they got to hide? A house is a house, really. They all pretty much build the same, all the national house builders. I like how you train people. Yeah, that's the only way we really know to be. We do pick up the odd single bricky and scaffolder here, and stuff, and but I don't know. You get 10. I could get 10 more bricklayers tomorrow, but it wouldn't be bricklayers. So we train our own now. Um, we've lost a few along the way, but ultimately the good ones stick around. We're very grateful of them. Ben, who's in the chat, his lad Jacob, he's working with us now. So things like that. When you got someone good and they've got a friend, a son, a stepson, a cousin, and they recommend them, take them on. Yeah, I do agree with you at times, Changi. It is being a bricklayer. You have so many different elements come into us. Being efficient, the forklift, the scaffolding, joist, roof trusses going up, materials, the muck, the weather, lintels, features. So we need a lot to in our go our way for us to make it, make a decent day. And I don't think that's appreciated sometimes. Does their wage go up accordingly as well? Yes, it does. Bricky Bry. Yes, it does. So the first years that have just finished the first year and now gone into second year of all their money's gone up, and then and it goes from there basically. And it continues to go up. There's no set amount. If they're worth a bit more, they're worth a bit more. If they pass their test, they get a bit more. So Jacob, who's just passed his test, he will get a bit more. Kalen, he's now driving, he will get a bit more. So yeah, all done on merit, and we don't do it on a scoring system. They're scored every week, and I keep a record of it in the office. Well, I don't. My wife keeps a record of it kindly for me. Yeah, Gav, totally agree. Traditional house all the way. Yeah, traditional build is the only way, and no rigid insulation either. Don't like any insulation. It should be blown afterwards. Don't know where they started putting insulation in the bricklayers package. So we don't have any jobs at the moment with timber frame. We don't have any jobs with rigid insulation or full insulation. Good for you, Bright. Yeah, starting on hard. Get on the trail. It's the only way. Not a huge fan of that now because it does. I think it's unfair on both sides. They want more money than I think they're worth, and they quite often get put back on the hod, and it holds them back. It holds their progress back a little bit. If we can avoid it, Chang, we don't do anything with insulation at all. We don't, unless we really have to. Can't I don't see you can't make any money out of it. You never get the right amount of money to insulate it. It costs you money. Do you run on price or day rate? We have price work and day work bricklayers. Scaffolding is all day work. We don't do any price work on the scaffolding division. Not a big fan of that. Don't think it works very well. Think it affects the service that we provide people. And I just think scaffolding shouldn't really be rushed. What's the highest day rate? That would be that'd be revealing. It varies, Changi, to be honest. We've had people with us a long time. Luke, how many hours a day do you work? I don't know. Is this work, technically? Um, I typically work 7:30 to 4:30. I'm not at the office much later than 4:30. Um, but does that mean I stop work? I don't ever. I truly, 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 very, very rarely stop work. I'm always doing something, thinking of something, reading about something, watching about something. I'm constantly that, and that's not. I don't want a medal for that. That's just the way I am. That's not. It's not hard. It's just the way it is. It's just. It's just it. It's just. Um, I just enjoy it. When I go away to my mum and dad's place, I have started to relax a bit more. But it, you know, 8 hours in a day is an awful long time, really. And these people that are doing, and they're on the grind and they're surviving on 1 hour's sleep and all this. Well, personally, I think they're ill-disciplined, unorganised, and can't be doing things right if they need to work that many hours. I think bricklayers never stop. What do you think about bricklayers' wages nowadays? We used to be one of the lowest paid on site. Always used to be the plumber that was highest paid. Now I think, ironically, they're not as well paid as they used to be. I think our wages are where they should be now, considering we build you know, the fabric of the house. Wayne, 7:30 till 3. How'd you get away with that? One break or two breaks? The classic one break and work till 3. I do agree with you that bricklayers aren't respected, Bri, but also I do think the skills have been diluted a little bit. To be perfectly honest with you, bricklayers are not bricklayers who can do cavity trays and features and stuff. It's been you get people that can lay to a line, but they're not really true proper bricklayers. A gang of 12 trials and never seemed to be able to cut off was in Spain last week, and the phone never stopped. It's hard to cut off. Yeah, yeah. Well, you've got other people working for you, so unfortunately, that's that's the way of the world, really. Great money cuts are coming, I expect, just after Christmas. Not sure this time round, Changi. Um, no, no one's asked us for a cut just yet. But when historically over the years, house prices have gone up and wages have gone. They've shifted in parallel like this. They've gone up and they've gone down. But now you've got the cost of living. So house prices may come down. Wages are going to want to fight against that. So then you're going to have this collision. But ultimately, if they're not selling houses and they need to drop the prices, then everyone's going to have to play ball. Otherwise, they won't be building them, and then there is no work. So, wouldn't panic just yet. I think things will settle down a little bit, and I think it's always quiet this time of year. January, see what the housing market does, and sort of go from there. But it's going to be interesting. See what happens. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but Barrett's have stopped digging. Changi, to be perfectly honest with you, but I wouldn't read too much into that because their financial year will be December the 31st. So if house sales have slowed, then and pulling more foundations in, and that's more money outlaid, which means their balance sheet looks worse when they close the books on the 31st of December. So don't don't read too much into that, because if they were still selling like gangbusters, they'd still keep digging. But the fact of the matter is, you know, they're balancing the books. So don't be surprised at that. This country is very good at talking itself into a recession, and there's no need for it. Just don't read too much into that. And where would you be without the line monkeys, Bry? I do agree to a certain extent, but when you want people, when you've got people that are not a proper, fully fledged bricklayer asking for the same money as someone who can, do a corbel and cavity trays and step cavity trays and features and arches and dental courses and set a build now, etc. It's a little bit frustrating, but it's the rules of the game. I hope somebody's put their foot down, but I doubt it. It's not about putting a foot down. It's ironically about working together to get through. People ask me, is there going to be a recession? Yes, 100%. 100% there will be a recession. So that's not because I'm super clever. That's because that's the way things work. There's a boom, there's a bust. And that's the way it works. It's been like that for a couple of 100 years, and it's not going to change. After boom comes bust, after bust comes boom. That's the way it is. So it's not about putting their foot down. It's about riding the economic wave that we're currently in. And everyone has to play ball. No one likes it any more than anyone else. Don't go. Not going anywhere. I'm still here. Yeah, I mean, you do get the odd subby that sort of panics a little bit and wants to keep his workforce going, and then they undercut everyone. But it'll settle down. There's nothing any of us can do about it anyway. Oh, there you go then. Brick and block solution. So there you go. So it kind of makes sense, really. They're going to have to post their financials at the end of November for this particular company. So why would they spend out money knowing that the forecast going into next year is not going to, the demand isn't going to be as high? Kind of makes sense. As a bricklayer, how can I get off the trail and work my way up the ladder into us? Don't get into a site office. Come on, Bry. Don't join the dark side. Don't do that. What I would do is get a good little price work gang. That's what I would do. Little 3 and 1, little 4 and 2, something like that. Take on, be good what you do. Take on price work. Take that money, invest it, build up a good little team. Take on a couple of apprentices, build it from there, and go from there. There you go. Luke was a site manager once. Yeah, the site office isn't up. That's right, Jangy. That's right. Yeah. We've got 20 people watching now. Not many people in the chat. They're obviously just getting all the information. They still keep getting offered jobs doing it. Nah, screw that. No, I've never heard of them. Brick and Block Solutions, never heard of them. It's hard to get your own work. I don't really know what you mean by that, Bry, to be honest. It's hard to get your own work because people don't want to pay the prices. Maybe your prices are too high. Got 7 likes now. Come on. Wonder if I got any new subscribers off the back of this. Probably not. Let's have a look, shall we? Here we go. Oh, I think I got one. Yeah, I wouldn't go that route, Bride. To be honest, I'd get site work if it was me. To be honest with you, I don't think you can get much easier as a bricklayer. Extensions, I think you need to be able to do a little bit of everything. To be honest, if you want to do extensions, it's not so bad if you're, say, a chippy and you want to do extensions, because then you've got a bit of it. You can put the joist on, you put the roofs on, you can do the first fix, you can do majority of it. But if you're a bricky, think you struggle a little bit, you can do, you can get it out of the ground, you can get the shell up. But really, an extension, we do extensions in, a couple of weekends, and then the internal trades follow on. So I would build a little gang, get on price work on a site. Yeah, we only do labour only. We do supply mortar sometimes, but that's about it. Do you see yourself cutting back on workforce or cutting rates? Neither, to be honestly, Jamie, if we can avoid either one of them. Like I said, I wouldn't be alarmed at people not pulling foundations or anything like that. Then I wouldn't worry about that. My son's joined the chat. How many houses do you think TDH will build in? So TDH is the property development division. Well, at least one, because we've got a piece of land ready to go. So it's just going for full planning now. So at least one. And then we will see. We will see what happens. Ideally, I want to do, so I've done 2 this year, I want to do 4 next year and go from there. Sorry, I'm just making my bedtime snack. Got to have my porridge. Need to get them houses up. Yeah, I know. Where does A&D get work? Like what part? We're in Swindon, Wiltshire, and we typically work within, I'd say, about an hour, but we shrunk that down a little bit more. Probably half an hour, 45 minutes now. We've actually got 4 jobs. I can fly my drone over them from the office. They're that close, which is nice. Hasn't always been like that. Did you go to the zoo, Bry, in the Cotswolds? I mean, what are you doing in the Cotswolds? It's nice down there. It's posh down there. You won't catch me down there. What are we saying on the protein flavour, lads? Banana. What are we saying? Bolton on the water. Yeah, it's nice down that neck of the woods, Bryce. That is. You're obviously a sophisticated fella, unlike myself. Ben, yeah, Ben lives down there. He's in Morton on the Marsh, Ben, isn't you? Where do I see myself in 10 to 15 years? Well, I'm 43. I don't know, really. The world is my oyster. I want to enjoy the journey a little bit more rather than worrying about the destination, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to a funeral tomorrow for someone who used to work for us on and off over the years. I think I don't think he's even 60. So it's not about where I want to get to. It's about enjoying the journey as I go, really, to be honest. And what will be, will be. I've got a plan. But to be honest, once I get there, I still want to do something else or something more or something different anyway. So who knows? As long as I'm fit and healthy, and my family's fit and healthy, then I'll take that. Bashi, most people want 1 year's experience. What for, mate? I don't know what you mean. What are we saying? I've missed something there, mate. Who wants 1 year's experience? Not me, for sure. Excuse me while I make my porridge. Well, to be honest, Bushy, no one's going to be asking you for a year's experience. You're asking for too much money. Sorry, should have said I was going. That's probably what's happening there, mate. Yeah. Bright, how comes I focus on the Brick Lane? Because the Brick Lane division's bigger, really. That's the only reason, and we are going to be doing more property development of our own, and there's more, comes with the territory. Brick Lane, building the houses, etc. Although the scaffolding we just featured it this week, but yeah, that's the only real reason, mate, to be perfectly honest. Scaffold is just so crazy. To be honest, the scaffolding industry has really upped this game. I've got to be honest, it really has. I mean, we've had some crazy scaffolders, let me tell you. But on the whole scaffolding industry has really upped its game, to be perfectly honest with you. So they're not as crazy as they once were. Still crazy, just not as crazy. But our lads are an absolute credit to us. They really are. Really good, strong group of lads we got. Can't wait to get the apprentices stuck in with them, to be honest with you. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait for that. I don't mind taking less, bro, as I know you haven't got the full time. So when you say less than what, Bashi, to give you a bit of a guide, a first year bricklaying apprentice doing 4 days at site and 1 day in college gets £4.83 an hour. So is it more than that? Yeah, wet days like today, yeah, it is a bit frustrating, but it's part and parcel. There's not a lot we can do about it. They say to get really wealthy, you have to make money when you sleep. So some investments sounds like a good move. I wouldn't worry too much about time in the market. I mean, I wouldn't buy now, but I wouldn't sit around waiting because ultimately you'll just waste time. Yeah, I'm in Birmingham. They're paying £200 a day for a proper bricklayer. So I don't know where you are in comparison to a proper bricklayer and an apprentice starting his career at £4.83. So if you've literally never been on the trowel before, then really you should be on £4.83. If you went to college and wanted to do it properly, you'd be on £4.83 an hour. That's minimum, that's the minimum wage regardless of your age for the first year. So so that's my point, Bashi. So it's not the construction firms and subbies that are, they're not. It's not that they're not playing ball. Unfortunately, you being 32 need to earn a certain amount of money, which I get and respect, and that's cool. Um, but you can't expect a subcontractor to subsidise your learning because you're 32. It's unfair on them, and plus, if they do it for you, they have to do it for others. So as harsh as it is, you need to find a way of coming down and lowering your expectations to take a step forward. Like Ben says, got to start young. You've got to start young, or you've got to make the sacrifice for however long it takes. Yeah, and like Lou says, it's not game over. Well, let's not get carried away here, but just align your expectations of what you're going to get. So this is obviously an Irish thing, about getting paid solid and through windows. No, no, we don't get paid, and we don't get paid. Um, that's not a thing over here. Um, Sometimes on timber frame, people do it because that's the only way you can make any money at timber frame, and then you can't even make any money. But no, we don't pay solid. Um, and you don't get paid square for the gables. No, you get paid for what's in them, plus any feature course, dental course, stamp, bits and pieces like that. Really, nice one, Brian. Tell us to go out when it's dark. Getting paid solid is more popular here. Yeah, maybe. Um, yeah, I do see what you're saying, Bashi, about agreeing something that can work for both parties. But let me tell you, mate, if your money's too high, you'll get stuck on the odd. That's what'll happen. You'll be the go-to odd carrier as soon as things are a little bit busy or whatever. I'm not saying take the hit because um, you probably can't at 32, but maybe if you can get yourself in front from loading out and then jump on the trowel. But again, becomes very difficult. If a labourer don't turn up, you'll get asked to jump on the trowel, jump on the hod, and ultimately you'll suffer. You can maybe do that for a period of time, get get to gist of it a little bit, and then go and try it with someone else maybe. But it's a hard one. It's hard. You could train to be a scaffolder. It's pretty quicker, and scaffolding labourers earn relatively decent money, and then you can get in a bit of fixing because there's less loading out and things like that to do. So once a lift is loading out, it's really on to fixing. So you have to do a couple of you have to do like what's called a COTS course first, but then you could train to be a scaffolder relatively quickly in comparison to bricklaying, and your money would go up much quicker. So that's the answer for you, Bashi. Become a scaffolder. So we've managed to shift across maybe a couple of our labourers on more or less the same money, a little bit less, from say a hod carrier to a scaffolding labourer, and then they progress from there. What's easier to manage, bricklaying or scaffolding? About the same, I would say. Well, that would make sense if it's concrete blocks. Yeah. No, you and that's what I said, Brian, with the scaffolding. They've calmed it down. They're a bit more civilized now. They're a good bunch. It's a very well respected trade now, and the scaffolding specification across all of our customers is far higher than it's ever been. It's harnesses, hard hats. There's no messing about. Advanced handrails. It's really upped its game. It's not just a load of idiots putting up scaffolding now. It's good specialised job, and they do a cracking job. And I'd say that's not just our firm; that's across the board. They definitely up their game, 100%. Right, my Mac is about to die, so thanks for watching, everyone. I will do another live stream another night, but that's it from me. So watch this week's episode. My sister's getting married, so we'll have a little bit of that in there. See some more of the extended family, and I'll see you in this week's video. So thanks for watching, people. Catch you all soon.